Hi everyone, this is my aquarium. I thought I would do a quick review, just let you know how I run it and what I run and what I've got in it. So to start with the water parameters, pH sits at about 7.4, moves between 7.2 to 7.8, but not every day. It doesn't shift, it changes weekly. Not a huge fluctuation, and I found it sits between 7.4 pretty comfortably. So it's a 4-foot tank, but the tank is quite not that deep. So you're looking at about 250 litres, maybe a little bit more. I used to run live plants with the lighting. However, the lighting wasn't enough to maintain the plants, because I also have a full-time job. It was very hard to maintain them. I didn't have a CO2 injector, and I found that plants were just deteriorating way too quickly. So I've taken all the plants out and just used silk plants. They give it a little bit of decoration. You can see down here the fish, still use it for a bit of cover to get out of the light, and plus the driftwood. They say driftwood lowers the pH. I haven't found that. They've been there for a couple months now, and I haven't noticed the pH move that much. Water parameters, this area of town in New South Wales, you're looking at about 4 kH and 6 GH. Now, I used to carry only live bearers in the tank, and after doing a lot of research, realised that live bearers need quite hard water. So I've got about 4 or 5 live bearers left out of my first lot. I had quite a lot of deaths until I figured out why. They need quite hard water to survive. So the ones that have survived, excellent. I'm in the process of slowly lifting the general hardness up to 8. Most of these fish are comfortable between 6 and 12. That's the neon tetras, the gouramis. I have some Sorbet tetras, 3 of them, and I also have recently added 2 yellow electrics. Now, yes, the yellow electrics are African cichlids that need, quite high pH, 7.8. I'm sitting at about 7.6 now, which is good, but they need a little bit harder water. However, they're kept in a pet store in pretty soft water in my town water. So, that's a risk I'm going to try and take. They've acclimatized really well. And I'm in the process of lifting the hardness to about 8 to 9-ish. They can live from 10 to 15. So hopefully they grew pretty good. Just to walk you through what I've got here, I've got 20 neon tetras. I think the rule is 1 inch of fish to 1 litre. And I've got about 70 inches of fish now. So there's quite a lot of room left for them. That's it though for the fish. No more fish. So 20 neon tetras, 3 Sorbet tetras. I've got two gouramis, flame gouramis. I also have 2 yellow electrics. I've got 4 live bearers, mollies, and a couple of 1 swordtail. And I'm also running 1 Chinese algae eater, which was a bad buy. He tends to hassle everyone. And I'm also running 3, which I can't see them, probably around the back here. I'm running 3 Corydoras catfish, which are just eating that pellet I've just put in there. Overall, the silk plants I've found is a lot less maintenance. The filter I use is a Aqua 1. It does about 1,000 litres an hour. I was never for aerating the tank, because if you look at the back here, you can probably see it through there. I usually have that bubbling down in the water, but it made quite a lot of noise, so I've taken a lot of that out, and I've put my air stone back in, which goes all day, turns off for 4 hours during the middle of the night, but that's good for the oxygen. I don't know if you test for oxygen or not, I don't bother. The tank is fully cycled. I haven't had any deaths in about 6 months, and this tank's been like this for about 3 or 4 months, so tank's well and truly cycled. I don't need to worry about that. The light I run is a 3-foot fluoro, which again is strictly just to make the tank look good, bit of light. But not into live plants, and I just don't have the time to maintain it. When I do a 40-litre water change every Monday, however, if I notice the tank's getting a little bit scummy, or I keep an eye on how much the fish are eating. If they don't eat everything out that quickly, I'll do a second water change, just one bucket. But I test the water parameters twice a week to make sure everything's fine. To my water, it's quite soft, so I do add some equilibrium. This will increase your general hardness by adding the calcium, magnesium. A little bit of that in there. I also add a buffer compound of a little bit of pH down. I tend to find it doesn't affect the water too much, but it gives the KH about 4.5, because otherwise I run at about 3. I also bought some crushed coral. Haven't decided to use that yet. That'll also increase the KH GH, and it'll also increase the pH, which I'm not really fond on doing yet because I'm already running 7.4. I used to have ornaments, these little lame kind of things, and a little helmet. That looked pretty tacky, so I've gone for the more natural look. I think it works pretty well. And I also found the ornaments were lifting the pH because they were eroding in the paint here. And yeah, I got up to 8.2s in the pH. Might have also contributed to the death. And you can see here I've just fed him an algae pellet, and this little chitchlet has just stolen it. Definitely the best investment was the yellow electrics. They've acclimatized really well. The two gouramis, this guy here, he loves life. He's one of the best fish I've owned. But he has a mate that lives in the back here, who's very, very shy. And that's just the gourami temperament. When I'm not around, he comes out. He feeds when I'm not around, but when I'm around, he strides straight for the cover. Apart from that, I've got everything on a timer, so everything turns off at night except for the filter. The air stone turns off for 4 hours just because I hate the sound of the air stone. You can actually hear it, so I tried to suppress it with that tea towel. Apart from that, the tank looks very lovely, I think. All the plants are silk. You can see this gourami coming out here. As soon as I get close, he'll duck for cover. But this is the shy one. He rarely comes out. The other thing I run is a digital thermometer. So I constantly maintain the temperature. It fluctuates from 25.8 to 26.2, and in really hot days gets to 27. So I've got to turn the heat down a little bit on the hotter summer days. Water changes, I've already talked about that. I clean the screen, the glass at the front when I do water changes because it gets some bubbles and they absolutely hate it. I acclimatize new fish during the drip method. I don't float a bag because that just only acclimatizes the temperature. What I do is I grab an air hose and I run the air hose into the tank and run it into the bag from the pet store. And I have a set of, I can't find them. I have a set of surgical clamps they use in surgery. And I clamp it and it just does one drip every second. So I leave them in the bag for about 45 minutes. And that acclimatizes them really well. I've found that I've had a lot less deaths due to shock, and they all acclimatize to the pH within that 45 minutes to an hour. They're all nice and calm, relaxed when they're in the bag, and then when they go into the tank, they're a little bit weird when they first get in there. They go up and down the glass, but you know, I've just put the yellow electrics and 10 tetras and a sorbet tetra in yesterday, and they've already made it their home. They're already just relaxed. They were going up and down the glass yesterday, and now they're just feeding like normal. I do find that the sorbet tetras sometimes pick on the big gouramis, but they're not that bad for fin nippers. I looked at barbs, but barbs were way too angry for the tank. And the bigger picture is to get an 8-foot tank. I think I've grown out of this 4-foot one, but I haven't got the place at the moment to store them. The rocks on the bottom are also fake, with holes for caves, but no fish really use them. The algae eater hides in there, and that's about it. I've got some real rocks that I'm going to boil and put in, but I really don't think it needs it. I'm happy with the way it looks at the moment. The way the tank looked before was pretty average, pretty rubbish, pretty basic. I picked this tank up for a steal for about $100. Works great. These pieces of driftwood I absolutely love. I think if this one over here was a little bit taller, it'd be excellent. And I've tried to aquascape it into a V, 2 different sides. This plant at the back here is a 20-inch fake lily one. I'm going to get a couple more here and here just to give that a bit more green. And the tank's good. I don't run one big heater. I'm going to eventually just buy a 300 water to heat it, but I just run 2 60 waters, and one stays on all the time, one is set to 22, and that maintains me at 26 pretty much, you know, all day. Well, I've just gone through the cave. That's a first. So apart from that, yeah, happy days. I did look at getting an RO unit as well. However, my water's pretty soft. I actually thought my water was too hard for the fish, and that's why they kept dying. Turns out it's too soft for the live bearers. So better have soft water than hard water, because it's pretty hard to make hard water soft, but it's pretty easy to make soft water hard. So that equilibrium does great for me, because otherwise I'm sitting on about 4 general hardness. And that means discus, but that also means just discus, where these community fish look great. I can watch them for hours. Overstocking, I don't think I'm overstocked. I mean, that's probably a call for the comments, but I'm pretty sure I'm not overstocked. And the amount of water changes I do and checking the water quality is great. Might invest in ammonia test kit and a nitrate test kit, but you know, the tank's been like this for the last 12 months, so it's well and truly cycled. With the filter, I don't clean the filter out and run it under any water. All I do is disconnect the hoses, take it apart, take all the media apart, put it in the bucket. I fill the bucket up with tank water. I just wash it out or rinse it out or just shake it out. And then I tip the debris out of the thing into the sink, which is usually a lot of crap in the bottom. Heaps of dead snails actually live in there. And then there's actually a snail colony in there. No snails in the tank though, which is good. And yeah, I found after doing that, I have shocked the tank a lot less, and I've become a lot smarter in how I keep the fish. If anyone knows, this gourami is blowing air, and I think he's trying to blow a bubble nest, but I'm not 100% sure. I think he's just blowing air because I just fed them. But anyway, that's my take. Hope you like it. Let me know your comments.